Yeah, fill in 1 for x and fill in 2 for y. And guys, I was gonna write all this with you, but because we're pressed for time, I think I may actually move a little bit faster and show you my notes from the previous class. Just so that if you don't write everything down, it's okay, but so you have a bit more help with you. The trapdoor, right? I always warn you about the trapdoors. The trapdoor is going to come down to one of these points, like the point 1, 2 that we test right here. It could solve for one of the equations and not solve for the other one. So here it does solve for both of them correctly. We do come out with equal values because 3 times 1 is 3 minus 1 is 2. So yay! 2 times 1 is 2 plus 2 is 4. Yay! Now for anyone who's like, wait, how did he just do that? This was x. We replaced it with 1, which came from our point, because coordinates are always x, y. So if you need to make that reminder for yourself, coordinates are always x, y. This was y, so we replaced it with 2. Similarly, it was alone, but this was y equal to 3x minus 1, and it checks out. Try 411 for the other two. You don't need to write the equation with the x and the y. Go ahead and write the equation replacing x with 4 and replacing y with 11. Go ahead and write those equations with the values substituted. Sorry, and if you want to head your notes, note page, whatever you want to say, I'm tripping on my words inside this mask. It's solving / solutions to a system. So how do we solve a system? How do we check a solution to a system? So the first thing we're actually doing is checking a solution. Did you guys open that window or am I crazy? Oh, I don't care. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Am I recording? Apparently. So the first thing we ask ourselves is, does 11 equal 4 times 4 minus 5? Well, 4 times 4 is 16. Minus 5 is 11. I changed colors here. I decided to go ahead and write the values that I was substituting in red. So then we ask ourselves, is 11 equal to 2 times 4 plus 3? Yes. Yay! So 411 is a solution. If we get a check on both of these, the point gets a check. Try these on your own. Hint, hint. Since everything has worked out so far, I bet one of these isn't going to work out eventually.
Oh, wow. How would you know?
Well, how would you know? You tested.
How could you?
I'm going to be like a real teacher.
It almost seems like a stylus that you can almost draw from like really far away.
I need like a pair of pliers because this is really sharp at the bottom. Alright, well you guys check those. I'm going to tape this poster back up and try to do better work this time. I'm obviously progressing.
Are you revising?
I am revising my poster work.
That sounds
This is actually my second revision. Guys, what happens is the stairway has a different heat system. Then like each classroom now has its own heat like control. So I can control my heat, right? So it's set at 69 right now. In the stairwell, there's its own heater that runs when that runs when the doors get opened. So when the doors get opened, the heat turns on, and when the doors are shut, the heat's off. The stairwell gets cold, which means this wall gets cold.
Oh, that's probably why all the posters on my one wall don't hang up.
When things change temperature, their adhesive qualities change.
But also it's the walls right by the window.
Yep. It's how much friction is there. What do you think about the first set there?
No, it's not.
Why?
Because
The first one works, the second one doesn't. What about the second set? Keep going. Quit listening to Hudson talk about posters.
you're interesting.
Oh, thanks. I don't know if my wife would agree, but... No, that's a joke. the reason we got married is because we have a lot of similar interests. Like board games. She's a board game nerd too. When she learned how to play Catan and really enjoyed it, I fell in love. Hey, Catan's a great gateway game.
I'm so sorry. Did you ever play Hive?
Hive? I don't know if we've played that yet, or we've at least heard of it.
Have you ever played Candyland?
Yes, we have Candyland.
Okay, good.
We also watched the Candyland TV baking show thing.
Oh, we saw the first
Which I don't like. That's like, I don't like that.
I
In the
like
world of
baking
baking shows, it's like too glittery.
I like baking. I like holiday because there is a bunch of glitter.
The second set does not work either. Again, because the second equation comes out to be false. We are about to move on from this. Does anybody have any questions about what we just did for checking if a coordinate is a solution? We plug it in. If it's false, it's not a solution. Zoe? You don't have to. So that's why I'm showing you these other methods. So what you're referencing is, thank you for the segue, is if we aren't given a point, right? If they don't give us a point, actually, Zoe, I could not have even picked a better segue. If they don't give us a point to test and they ask us what is the solution, we're going to try a couple things like we did last week. So the first thing we can do here, sorry, I'm confused because my notes don't have, either my notes went out of order, which I think is what happened. Oh, yeah, we're graphing this. Everyone make an XY axis. I would make a new sheet of paper if I was you because we're going to go pretty big. You need at least 10 by 10. Like up to positive 10, down to negative 10, up to positive 10, down to negative 10. I'm going to make this graph with you guys because it would be no fun if I just show you everything already graphed. I want you to graph these two lines. If it's a little pixelated, I will read it for you. It is negative 2x plus 7 and a positive 5x minus 7. So yes, Zoe, you are absolutely correct. If we do not start in graphing form, we would want to put it into the graphing form first, which we will look at a couple examples of that in a moment. Hallway, right before you hit those doors, hang on left, you're going to be like right by a big staircase. Walk forward, and the office is on your left. So already, someone will pop out of the office to grab you. Thank you very much. Thought I heard somebody pounding on the door. Hey, office. We got somebody from NCC walking down the 7th grade hallway right now. They again came to this entrance thinking, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, Sevi, move. Literally, legally, Colin gets a standing desk. Yeah. If you want to put some legal parameters in place for your education, get your parents on your.
No, we can start a petition. Well, I mean, you can start a petition to make it so Colin's not the only one who can stand.
You could. So, real talk. My giant standing counter is in the gym. It's kind of buried, but if we really, really wanted it, we could get it back. But yeah, no, Colin for sure gets a standing desk. Like that's part of it. So, what you guys don't realize is probably about half of all students have some kind of educational something in place. And Colin, sorry, not meaning to pick on you, but yours is easy and like not a big deal. A thing that Colin has in place is, like, some of you have preferential seating, which means you get a seat up front because you can't see as well. Like, if I took my glasses off, I can't read those posters. So I would probably ask for preferential seating if I was a kid these days. Colin gets a standing desk if it's available. It's like, that's just, if you want that, talk to your parents. You guys can put whatever you want into place. It's your education. Fight for it. Can you what? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. And we got to keep rolling. So XY axes. Colin, you messed everything up. Catch up with us. XY axes, like the size of a paper pretty much. Do your y-intercept first, then do your slope. Colin, let me guess. You just wanted to miss language arts and show up for math, right?
Well, language arts is actually kind of fun today. Yeah. Actually, yesterday we checked pieces of paper each other. Well, actually, we did.
All right. Our first line, and I'm going to try to like color code my paper by putting my functions written up here and then being, in the colors that correspond. Negative 2x plus 7. Who can tell me how to graph this? Zoe? Yeah, so turn around how you say it. Make your life easier. If the slope is negative 2, that's really negative 2 over 1. So we go down 2 to the right 1, and we do that a bunch of times. Or, if I go up 2, we go left 1. Guys, double check that your y-intercept is where it's meant to be. Double check that every time you make a slope step, you actually do it correctly. And then use a ruler. So if you use a ruler, once you've got a few points on your graph, we can like extend it out way beyond where my points even are. Now, tip, like word of advice. At the bottom, do a bunch more of these and make sure that you stayed online. Like I'm getting a tiny bit offline down here, but it's okay. Like if I zoom way in, that's a tiny bit high, but it's all right. Like, so try to make sure that your lines are perfect, because if we're solving that, now, on the computer, it'll make your line perfect for you. On my mastery that you will be taking either next week or the following week, you'll have to do it on a graph. I'll probably have you do 2 different systems. Like, and I will probably ask that you use colored pencils or something to say, like, graph this line in whatever, graph that line in whatever. Where does blue line meet orange line? So if I then make my 5x minus 7 my blue line, y equals 5x minus 7. If I follow Zoe's advice of how to graph, start at my y-intercept. Now negative 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. Double check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now my slope is 5, so what do I do to move? Up 5 over 1, right? Up 5 to the right 1. Up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there it is. So then, because I've already found my intersection point, I could just go ahead and stop graphing more lines. Now, if I want to make sure my line looks good, I could give it a couple more, just to be the endpoints. So the line, or the intersection we should find between those first 2 lines that we graph is what point? 2, 3. Right? So for these 2, they intersect at 2, 3. That is our solution point. You're good, because I'm going to leave my graph up there and have you guys try this one. So I'm going to leave my graph up there. Now this one does not start in graphing form. So before we're able to graph this, we're going to have to do some algebra. So if you don't know what to do, wait for a minute. If you want to go ahead and attempt a start, go ahead and attempt a start. I would write down the original equations though. So write down 7x minus y equals 7 and write down x plus 2y equals 6. We will manipulate from there. Yes! Thank you. I should have said that. I did say that yesterday. I just forgot to say it right now. When you write them down, it would behoove you, which means benefit, to not put them on top of each other. So I would put like one on the left and one on the right so you can work them in separate areas. So then, if I want to isolate this y, well, crap, it's negative. The first thought in my head is I don't like negative y. Well, I'll go back to that graph in a second. Just come with us to here, and then we'll catch you up in just a moment. So here's how I deal with the first equation. It's not the only way. It is not the only way. Algebra has many correct routes. Please make sure that you get to the right equation. And then solve the second one. Try to get this into your y equals form on your own. You could have also started by subtracting 7 from each side if you really wanted. Please do not sit around waiting for things to be done. Try them on your own so you know if you know how to do it. How long do I have you guys? 6, 7, 8 more minutes, really. So what I have to do in a moment is totally going to flip you guys out. Well, if you know who Tony Hawk is. I'm going to ignore what you just said because it sounds like you're just being 7th grade judgmental for no reason. And I also, I'm hoping I misheard you because it sounded like you used a word that we wouldn't use at school. I'm going to guess that I misheard you.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I'm doing the seating chart now, so as I'm awkwardly looking around the room, I'm trying to make sure that my seating chart is at least close to correct.
So is our seating chart just going to be this?
Yeah, so guys, normally I just really try to let you sit wherever you want. And now that we have enough classroom space to do so, I don't care where you sit. I would much rather you sit where you think you're going to learn best. Like if I like looking to the left versus looking to the right, or if I'm left-handed and don't want to sit in one of the normal right-handed desks, right? Like I want you to sit where you want to sit. That's also why I have that other green desk over there, is if somebody's left-handed and it's like super annoying to use. That some desks actually like have an arm, like a right-handed desk. These don't, but they're still kind of right-handed because where the bar is. But yeah, I don't really care where you sit. So if you decide I really want to change where I sit, just come talk to me because I got to change the seating chart. That's the only reason I care about where you sit, is I have to change the seating chart. And we're not really contact tracing anymore because we're so spread out and because we're all wearing masks all the time. But still, if somebody came down positive, we would probably say, okay, who were they sitting beside? Let them know just so they're aware.
So in case... Wait, what is contact tracing? It's like...
People that you were close to if you come down sick. All right, so our second equation, guys, I'm running out of time. You have less time than the other class. Gentlemen, stop talking. You have less time than the other class. This second equation should come down to be negative 1/2 x plus 3. If that is not what you got, you made an algebraic mistake somewhere. So check your algebra. When we go back and graph those lines, so I'm speeding up because it seems like some of you are just sitting around waiting for me to do work. We get algebra. So this is my issue with you turning around talking with Colin, is the first thing we do is look at what do I want to isolate? I want to isolate the y because we're graphing.
Oh.
So to isolate the y, we get rid of the x, get rid of the 2.
Okay, yeah, I see. Okay.
So then these lines, negative 7 with a slope of 7x, that is my purple line right here. Starts at negative 7, goes up by 7. I'm going to regraph it, but notice how close it is to the other line. And then our y-intercept of positive 3, slope of negative 1/2, that's going to go down. So I'm going to regraph both of those on my new graph. So for -7, but a slope of +7, y equals -7 plus 7x. And then we had a y-intercept of 3 and a slope of -1/2. And we could write that equation in a lot of different ways. We could write it -1/2 x plus 3 if we want it to look like the y equals mx plus b form, but we put our y-intercept at 3. We go down 1 over 2, because that's what the slope tells us to do. But, this is not, crap. It doesn't line up, quote unquote, nicely. Just check it. Our intersection point is there. And this is why in Khan, you're using a graphing utility like Desmos. It's not Desmos in Khan, but it's very similar. And when you click on that point, boop, it'll tell you what it is. It should, at least. If it doesn't, tell me. Like, if Khan is frustrating for any reason, let me know. But using the computer, you'll be able to figure out exactly where that is. Now, if we didn't have the computer to use and I had more time for class, I would show you the way that we can do that manually, right? We could still do that manually. We could do that through equal values method. Yeah, or you could kind of just count them. These are in the video. If you really want to see like a couple more examples, these are in the video. But we're running out of time, and I want to announce one last thing to make sure that you guys are not behind the other classes. Now, I could technically do it on Monday, I guess, but yeah, I'd rather do it now. So, just like LearnStorm, right, which a lot of us seem to like LearnStorm, all right? Just like LearnStorm, Khan Academy has decided that we're not really decided. Khan Academy has offered up an opportunity for us to continue to compete with each other and see who can do the most amount of work in Khan Academy. So, what we are going to do is each week, week by week, we will plug all of your data into Khan Academy. Now, I am going to change how this works starting next week, so listen to what we're saying and then realize this is going to turn into blue versus green. Okay? This is going to turn into Math 8 blue versus Math 8 green. Okay, so it's going to be you guys against each other. So, it doesn't matter. Listen, it does not matter. Mathematically, that's moot. Here's why. I will plug in all your data on separate pages, blue versus green. Then, we've created an algorithm in this spreadsheet that will average it all up. So it doesn't matter how many people there are because we're doing an average. Then, after a drum roll, it's a puppy doing a drum roll. We check our scoreboard. You guys think you won? Yeah, you did. So compared to the other classes, you only won by 3 minutes though. So really that's not that great. In the past month, did not mean to show you. In the past month, you guys blew Math 7 out of the water. Now, here's where this isn't fair technically. You guys are doing different work, right? I'm assigning you different stuff. It takes a different amount of time. It gives you a different amount of skills leveled up. So it's not fair for you guys to compete with Math 7. But I'm a dummy and did not realize that until I set this all up for this week. So, I get a progressing for this week. Next week, we're doing Math 8 against Math 8, right? So it's going to be blue group versus green group of who has the higher average learning minutes. Now, you would assume they would also have the higher average skills leveled up, but if it splits, if blue wins one of these and green wins one of these, we're going to have to figure out what the tiebreaker would be. And why are we going to be doing that? Because I've got prizes to give away. So over there above the turn-in bin, I've got an assortment of prizes for you guys. So, Dewan, I know that you would love some Hello Kitty stickers. So some Hello Kitty stickers. Apparently, I need to buy more stress. This is like a stress banana. It's like it's a fidget, really. It's a fidget.
I want the banana.
And these are mystery prizes. These came from a fundraiser thing. I don't know what they are. They're sealed. You have to actually tear it open to figure out what it is. So, from the winning group, listen, from the winning group, the top half of the workers, so let's say you guys won, blue group won, the top half of performers for the week, I draw out of there for the prizes. So if you're in the bottom half, if you're pulling your group down, you're not in for prizes. If you're in the top half, you're in for prizes. So, a couple little video motivations while we get out of here. I'm going to bring around wipes for your desks, and then we're heading to lunch. Listen, it's Tony Hawk.
I know it's strange times to be in school, isolated, and just know we're going to get through this. And it's been a show.
Hey, stop talking.
Your perseverance, making it through, and doing well in school. It's hard. My daughter's the same.
Stop talking.
Stay motivated.
Just sit for a minute.
You can do it. You just got to dig deep. You should believe in yourself.
Just chill for a second. I just want you to watch this. I don't care.
All right? And I'm pulling for you. I'll see you on the other side of this. Okay, thanks, guys.
I promise I will help you in just a second, but I want you to hear your motivational message.
Academy students, what's going on? It's Akbar Bajabila, host of American Ninja Warrior. I just wanted to check in with you guys, but also to wish you a happy New Year. It's 2021. Things are going to be a lot different. I know in 2020, things got crazy, right? We had the isolation, and a lot of us were struggling with the ups and the downs, and things at home were starting to change because of COVID-19. Well, this is a new year, a new mindset.
Talk to me later.
And as you can see,
talk to me Monday.
Football jerseys. And what I love about football, what I love
great
about
advice.
American Warrior, that you constantly have obstacles that you have to overcome. That is going to happen regardless if it's a good year or a bad year that we saw, I put in quote because that's all relative, that we saw in 2020. So, my coach used to tell me this, and I truly do believe this, is that tough times don't last, but tough people do. And to be tough, what does that mean? Does it mean you have to growl like, "Argh"? No, what it means is that you're willing to accept the challenges that are in front of you. You're willing to go with the ups and the downs, but you're also knowing that you have this trajectory, you're going up. So, to the Khan Academy students, I say this to you. Be an American Ninja Warrior in the classroom, at home, in your personal life, whatever it is that you're going, have that mindset that I will overcome.
Any of the slots, it doesn't matter. Just remember where you put your notes, that's where they'll be.
Wall in life, in school, in your personal life, and you hit that buzzer. I'm going to say, I see you hitting that buzzer. So, take on 2021 with a new mindset, new attitude. Don't look in the past. It's just something for you to reflect and move
That's why I
forward.
told you to sit down. You just have that.
Take every stumbling block in school, in life, or whatever, and turn it into a stepping stone. You got that? Stumbling block,